Steven C. Productions.
It's all about building the brand and like finding ways to do that. And I think that's the greatest challenge because public relations uses different tools to do that, whether that's like press releases, which I'm not a big fan of. I think people like journalists, they're not going to read it. They have too much to do during the day.
What's up? What's up? If you didn't know, you're about to learn. My name is Steven and I am your host, and you're listening to Talking from Experience, Episode 4. Got a real good one for you today. My man Ariel Cruz was in the house and spitting some knowledge, man. This guy is going places. He recently graduated from the University of Houston, where he studied communications. And let me tell you, man, he paid attention. If you're looking to start a business, make some new friends, or anything really that's going to require you to interact with and deal with people, there's something in this episode for you. I know I got so much out of this conversation. My first in-person guest. Don't worry, I've got more of these for you. I'm really excited about this episode. Got me some new microphones, and it really looks like this thing's starting to catch a flow. I appreciate you so much if you've given me feedback. If you've been listening since episode 1, thank you so much. You know what, you're a real trooper because I love all my guests, but one thing I do not love about remote interviews is that I am not in full control of their sound. And one can only do so much in post-production. So hey, I don't want to drag it out any longer. Let's jump right in. Man, so how was that Fox 26 interview?
It was like a last minute thing, right? So Miss Carter just like, she sends an email, says, we got to get this ASAP. So I start talking to Denise. She's the one that's one of the reporters. She's like, I need all of this information by tonight. And so I had to get the press release, all the images I could get that were relevant to the company and send that out. And then the day of, I was really nervous. My throat was dry for like the first 5 minutes, but thankfully I had water. But once I got into the interview process, I forgot about being on live television. I was just talking. I got comfortable pretty quick.
So you were live?
Yeah, I was live. National.
Oh, national.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like local.
No, dude. That's what I thought too. But Fox 26 was doing national.
Oh wow.
I actually got I must send you the link if you want it. But they didn't upload it right away. Just like 3 days after. I
wouldn't see why they would do it nationally if it's a local event.
That's true. Maybe people want to fly in.
That's what I was thinking, unless they want to get people. But I mean, I guess it's good because that way, people might want to donate from other places.
That is true. Yeah. And then from there, so I have one of my friends, and he's like, his girlfriend works on ABC, and he was telling me, hey, if you need help for future events, I could connect you with my girlfriend, and so you could get on ABC News as well.
That's really cool. Is your first event that you've done after graduating?
Yeah, so I mean, I've done events at school, but I was always doing it with like a team. So this event is different because I'm working with Haley, but we're at the forefront. So it's a little bit more pressure, but yeah, this is the first event after graduating.
Yeah, you're the face.
It's a little scary, not gonna lie.
Are you gonna have to host?
Yeah, so because it's gonna be almost 5 hours, 6 hours. So we need some sort of program to let people know what's going on every now and then. So I'll be hosting and letting people know, hey, this is raffle time. We're gonna do the walk now. This is the purpose. Just provide information and also provide resources as well. Because I'm gonna have Miss Carter also talk, so she could explain what everything is all about, and some of the donors will also be talking.
Yeah, the last event they did was pretty much like that, and the other PR intern also did the hosting as well.
Was she comfortable or nervous about it?
She did a really good job. She was pretty much by herself, I think, doing the whole event.
Yeah,
and that turned out really good. So I didn't know that you could go to school for public relations.
It's a thing. Not all schools offer it though. Her school was really meant for it because UHD has classes, but they don't have like a specific degree for PR. It's just like general communications.
Is that what you got? Just communication?
Yeah, communications with marketing. So it goes hand in hand pretty well.
Okay, so what kind of courses did you do?
Yeah, so they had a lot of writing courses, of course. So I think one of them was called TechCom, which was teaching you how to write a proposal for a CEO or like for, say, a government. Say like you want to open up a specific location, you will learn how to write that proposal with all the research. I took advanced public relations. So they did offer specific courses for PR. Courses for like deliberation, so I learned a little bit how to debate, how to manage conversations as well. So it was a lot of technical courses that I took.
Man, that sounds like something I could benefit from. I'm kind of just winging this podcasting thing and working on my interview skills, but I guess it's more like on the job training for me, I guess.
I think so. I mean, because there's education experience, so experience for you is gonna suck a little bit because you're gonna have to learn as you go. But I think some people have it natural like you, so like you're already there. But having the education just gives you like, I guess, a structure, right? Like in your head, you're like, okay, this is what I got to do. This is what I got to do.
Yeah, I think that's something that I need and I actually work well with is structure. But I don't know, like I've always gravitated towards not having structure. I think I like to work in a sense of controlled chaos. I like to think.
Well, what benefit do you see from structure versus controlled chaos?
You get to learn how to handle situations quickly. So you learn how to think on your feet. I think that's something that I've always liked doing. So I always like to be surprised. I used to tell people back in the day, like they used to invite me out to do something. I'm like, when is it? And they're like, oh, in like a month. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to be doing in a month. like tell me like 2 days before, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess for me, it just makes sense. Although I do, I like looking at models of structure and then taking some stuff. And so for me, I think what I would benefit from is not so much like a communications course, but maybe like an improv class.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think, at least for me, I like to think that the communication part comes naturally. Yeah. Like once you get a conversation going, once you find a middle ground with the person, I think from there you can just, I mean, it'll take off.
Yeah, I think so. Especially when both people are very curious about a topic or have passion for it. I think that speaks a lot. But I was gonna mention, I think the only thing is some people say anybody you bring on your show, some people are uncomfortable without structure. So how, I know this is well, I'm gonna ask you this question anyway.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with like somebody who comes into the show and feels uncomfortable without structure?
Without structure. Well, it's kind of how I do things.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it depends on the guest because my first two guests, I sent them an outline.
Okay.
Of, some of the questions I was going to ask, but it's because their niche is structured. Like their expertise is something that can be broken down and explained properly. So like, here's the tools so you can have your responses prepared. And in a timely manner, because especially if they're passionate about what they do, you can go off on a tangent.
Yeah.
So, and then my third guest, I didn't send them anything, but that's because Homeboy's a tattoo artist.
Okay.
And he talks about it himself. Like, he's more like, I do things when I have to do things when I want to. So he's more, we're more in tune with that, having less structure.
Gotcha.
So I felt comfortable not sending him anything because I feel like somebody like that would be like, what the heck is this? Like, he'd almost be offended. Like, are you trying to give me a script? You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So even with someone like you, like I didn't send you anything. We kind of just on the fly pretty much.
Yeah, I get it. I'm pretty comfortable with improv too. It's
not improv either because I kind of knew more or less what I was going to talk about with you because I do have some questions and about what you do, and basically just like, since I know you personally,
yeah,
it's not like I just invited like I just met you online or something, like hit you up on LinkedIn. Like I already know we can vibe and stuff like that. So I was like, no, here's another person who, I don't really need to send you an outline or anything.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. I mean, either or. I like being challenged anyway, so I'm pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I don't like being challenged. Funny enough.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So it kind of goes counterintuitive with like me not gravitating towards something structured, but that's because when you have a structure and you face a challenge, some people can crumble under that.
Yeah.
And like freak out, and I'll be afraid that like if I do set up a structure and it doesn't happen the way I'm intending, I don't think that I would shut down or like freak out and start making dumb decisions, but I kind of just like to go based off of like the feeling rather than a structure, because if you don't have a plan A, plan B, like what's the point of the structure? So I just go, no structure, and plan A is to succeed and plan B is to succeed.
So no room for failure.
Yeah. What's it? I think it's Eminem. He's like, success is the only option, failure is not.
I see you took it to heart, and like live by that. And I think everyone should live by that. I think that's a good mentality to have, because success is what we aim for, but at the same time, failure does allow us to learn a lot. So like for this event that I'm gonna have to run with Haley, a lot of things could go wrong. A lot. So that is a fear of mine, but at the same time, I'm ready, just to accept whatever comes that way, and like just respond on the spot. Because I actually don't have a plan B. Like if it rains.
Yeah. Oh man, if it rained. That's what happened the last event they tried to do.
Yeah.
Is it rained, and they had a bunch of stuff they were gonna give away. They had to, like, they found another nonprofit organization to just give it to. So I guess it turned out okay. But yeah, the event was like planned and stuff. So a lot of the vendors and people who donated, like, they're from the past events who they had already, like, they had to cancel.
Wow.
Yeah, because of stupid weather.
The weather, man, is just, but it hasn't been raining a lot. It's just been really hot. So hopefully we just get no rain and a good weather. Good sun. Good. I
think that's why they're doing in the morning. But also, I mean, it hasn't been that hot. Like today, I walked out of where we work, and it was windy. Yeah,
they were saying that August things are supposed to cool down. So thank God, dude, because we were reaching over 100, and heat exhaustion, dude. Just today, I was already exhausted.
It's a hurricane season too.
Oh, you're right.
So they got all the stuff is brewing in the coast, so we get all that wind.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't get any hurricanes.
Yeah, that wouldn't. We don't need another disaster, dude.
At least not yet.
Not yet. You're gonna be like Dwight. He's like, oh, we need another. What was it? We need another pandemic. We have too many people.
Man, I forgot. You called it, man. He said, I think we need another plague or something like that.
There we go.
The plague, man.
Yeah.
Did you ever get the plague?
Plague?
You got COVID?
Dude, I think I'm immune to it because I'm not here to scare. But I didn't get like my shots, right? Because I was lazy. Not because I didn't want to. Mm-hmm. I was just lazy. But thankfully, I haven't gotten sick. I always get tested, whenever they ask me at work. But I haven't gotten sick, so thank my immune system, I guess.
You probably just haven't been around, like you haven't been exposed too much.
Yeah, I mean, I work at FedEx, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Well, also maybe you've gotten it already and you didn't notice, like asymptomatic, because like you are, like, your job requires you to be active, like you're big into fitness.
Yeah,
you take care of yourself, you watch what you eat. And that helps a lot. Like you're out in the sun all day. Well, not all day, but you get sun like more than a lot of people. Yeah. And I feel like that's something that I hear a lot of people who are into like figuring out what's going on with COVID. That's one of the things they criticize the media about, because they don't do reports on like, oh yeah, if you take a 30-minute walk, you get the vitamin D from the sun, and it'll help out a lot. And your immune system will have a better chance of fighting off the disease. That's
interesting, because like I know Biden recently posted he got COVID again.
Yeah,
he has like 2 boosters and all of that. Mm-hmm. So even, I'm not saying it's ineffective, but like you're still not safe. So
I mean, and he's really old.
That's just true.
So just the immune system is probably giving up. It's trying to kill him.
My goodness,
his own immune system is like, hey man, we're tired, dude. Like, I understand you're the president, but
we're tired of you.
Mean, we're tired of just working.
Yeah,
that's how bad it is, dude. Not even the president's immune system trying to go back to work.
He doesn't get the message, dude. I think he's he's like, whatever, I'm gonna keep doing it.
I haven't got vaccinated either. I had it, man, not too long ago.
Oh, that is true. You did.
Yeah, it was fine actually. The first day I tested negative, I was feeling symptoms, but I tested negative.
Yeah.
And then I tested the next day and I came out positive, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. Cause it's weird. Like, I felt sick, but it wasn't like a regular sick, dude. Like, I heard people talk about that, how it's not a regular illness, like not like we're used to. So I just felt like that first day, it was just like a headache and tired. Like, I felt like I had been working all day. And I was
like exhaustion, like
yeah, exhaustion was the big thing.
Was it mental or physical exhaustion?
Both, man.
Both. Wow.
Yeah, like you just feel tired. Like, all I wanted to do was like lay down and like sleep. I drank so much cough syrup, dude. I felt like Future.
Yo. I know what you're referencing. That's hilarious. Yeah, dude. But thankfully, it didn't last that long for you, right?
Actually, it kind of did. It lasted like a week and a half.
Okay.
Where I was still testing positive.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I was fine. It was just that like a little bit of cough, like towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just every once in a while I still had the cough, but it gradually dissipated, and I finally tested negative.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So I beat it.
Let's go. What questions do you have about PR? Do you have like anything specific that you're curious about?
How is it now that you're working in PR versus what you thought it would be like when you were at school?
Yeah, that is interesting, because even though I took all those PR courses, I still thought it was a lot like marketing, which is not. Marketing and public relations is two different things. But in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to do a lot of selling, in a sense, like selling an image, selling a brand. But public relations, now that I'm working in it, it's more about creating a story. It's more about making a connection with the people through a story. So like, for example, Miss Carter, she has her story. So what I've decided, or my goal, is like to make that story part of my story, so I can like be passionate about it, and that way other people can feel that passion. But yeah, during school, that's what I thought it was. It was just mostly a way to obviously help a company grow, but through like marketing, not through a means, through a story. So
yeah, I feel like it's, in a sense, it really is marketing, but I think it's marketing through a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you're pitching a business, you're not pitching a product, you're pitching the idea behind your business, behind your organization. So you're pitching a person.
Yeah.
So, and it's not just a pitch, like it's more than that. It's like you're helping others see your vision for what you're trying to build, whether it be the company or the nonprofit organization or even just a personal brand.
Yeah. No, I agree. So like, it's all about building the brand and like finding ways to do that. And I think that's the greatest challenge, because public relations uses different tools to do that, whether that's like press releases, which I'm not a big fan of. I think people like journalists, they're not going to read it. They have too much to do during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Social media, networking. But like, in a sense, you do have a point. It is marketing, but it's not marketing. It sounds really confusing, right?
Yeah.
But marketing, it focuses more on like on selling, and that's what differentiates public relations, because you're trying to get free press release or like free attention without like buying it, and trying to connect with people who can relate to your mission or purpose. Like the ALS, I think that was it ALS?
The Ice Bucket Challenge.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of like PR. Like, it was a social media that was one of the tools they used. But social media, they used a challenge hashtag ALS challenge.
Yeah, ALS.
And it did really well because, not many people knew about what ALS was. Did you know what it was before?
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, same here, right?
No, I was actually thinking about that the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, man, so the whole point of the challenge was to help people understand what it feels like to have that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that sucks. like you just like tense up, you know what I mean? Like you
tried it? Did you try it?
No, but I mean, I can imagine.
Now we're gonna get a bucket right now full of ice and water. You gotta.
We'll do that on the Patreon episode.
Okay, I'm down for that. But you're gonna have to try it.
It'll be on the YouTube.
Okay. But yeah, dude, it's really cool how they implement it. So people can really feel it and not just in that way understand it, right?
Mm-hmm. And
because of that, they garnished. I think it was, I don't know the exact amount, but it was over 100 million to fund the ALS, and then we're still talking about it today.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what PR is, just getting that attention from people and have people connect with it, have people want to help, because marketing would be, I'm just gonna this sounds like a software, a good product, I'm just gonna buy it. Yeah, they'll talk about how good it was, but they didn't have a connection, right? Because it was mostly focused on a selling point. So PR is focused on the people, the public. So that's the main difference.
Yeah, and it's the networking part of it too. Like you said, no one's gonna read a press release, but you have somebody who knows somebody who works at ABC 13.
Yeah,
they're like, and they can make the introduction. Like, hey, here's my friend. He's doing this for XYZ company. This is their mission. This is why they do it. Are you interested? And then, of course, because it's somebody they know that they trust.
Yeah.
Like, oh, definitely. Yeah. Like, hook it up. Like, let's make that connection. And I think that's really cool. That's what I'm learning as I'm getting older and going through life. And, people like to say it as a joke, or they like to make fun of people who think like it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's not all the way like that, but sometimes it is.
Yeah, I agree. And networking is really important. And I think learning how to network. So I think one of the most important things is there's this phrase that says, don't dig for a well. I forgot how it goes exactly, but it's something like, don't dig a well when you're thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is dig it right now. So when you're thirsty, you have the well, right? So bring that to networking, right? Whenever you need someone, don't just be like, hey, I need you for this. No, make sure that you connect with them on a personal level. You actually offer them value, not just like seeking value and taking them like a leech. So, and that's what public relations is most of the time as well. So,
yeah, I think that's why it's almost an art, like building genuine relationships with people. And I think the saying is, dig the well before you get thirsty.
Yes, something
like that. Yeah.
Oh, you heard about it too, the phrase?
Yeah, I listened to another podcaster who's real big on I'll put you on actually. He has a course on networking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and I'll put that in the show notes too, so anybody else who wants to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm big on that too. That's one of the reasons I'm doing podcasting too, is because like how I'm trying to build my business, I'm almost trying to do like the networking is part of my marketing
through the podcast.
Yeah,
absolutely. And you're doing that out of genuine place because you have genuine interest. It's not like you bring any type of guest. You bring people who are interested. You have a solid relationship with too, and I think that's important to mention, because if not, then it'll be more like seeking people, like how I mentioned earlier, just for like their value. But you provide value, and that's awesome. And I think that's like a key fundamental for anybody, and not just like in the workspace, just in life with family and friends. That's something that you should strive for, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm having issues right now with I want to reach out to people who like they have a following, you know what I mean? But I'm thinking like, how many people reach out to them like for an interview? How many people reach out to them just to just so they can say I interacted with them. You know what I mean?
Got it.
Like I need to find a way to, because I follow them because they offer value to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I follow their Instagram or their Facebook or their podcast, and it's kind of one of the difficulties I'm having right now is how do I reach out to them and let them know, like, hey, it's not just because you have big numbers, you know what I mean? But it's because I find value in what you do, and I want to share that with people who might not know about you yet.
Oh, this is so good. Okay, look. You want to start off with not someone that has millions, right? Start off with someone who has thousands. You're more likely to achieve success and learn. So first thing you want to do, for example, Instagram, obviously follow them and make sure that you comment. You keep some sort of interaction, even though they may not respond, but just comment and stay present, right? And then after some time has passed, right, you find a way to offer them value, right? And whenever you do a pitch, make sure that you get to the point, pitch it, and say, "This is what I offer," right? So that'll be the main goal. Like for me, whenever I'm reaching out to journalists, first I go on Twitter, I follow them, and I'm always like replying to their tweets, checking out their stories, complimenting, like, hey, this is a good story, that way that they're going to remember, oh, this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I do email them, they're like, okay, this guy, he's not just shooting me out of nowhere. I'm gonna give this guy a chance. So I think you apply that same principle into like whatever you're trying to do. Or if you really want to go extreme, I saw this YouTuber, he wanted Gordon Ramsay to teach him how to cook.
Right.
So what he did was he visited all his restaurants and like posted a video on YouTube and tagged Gordon, like, hey, and that drew a lot of attention. He got like more than 500,000 views. So it's just all about, finding a way to stand out, not just DMing them out of nowhere, like, hey, I think you're interesting, So just build connections bit by bit, or show that you actually care about what they do, because that's going to make you stand out. This guy, he went to Gordon's restaurants. He shows that he has some sort of care,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he took the time to do that and even promote his business.
Yeah, exactly. See, so boom, I love that you mentioned that. He offered value to Gordon by like doing that,
Mm-hmm.
So just find creative ways, or like find ways that, shows that you're not just interested in gaining a following, and that'll make you stand out.
Yeah, I think one mistake that I think a lot of people make is they try to make small talk with people that they want to build that relationship with. And personally, for me, I don't know, I'm not the expert here, but I don't know that a lot of people want the small talk.
Yeah, I think it's very American, and it has its places. It has its places, but people are really busy, and you got to be genuine. People can sense whenever you're just like doing small talk just to get something out of them, right? So if you do small talk, make sure that it's all about them. That you actually ask them, like, hey, what do you do for a profession?
Right.
But at the end of the day, always have something that you can offer, always. And I think that's going to get you ahead of the game. So learn something that can be beneficial to everyone. Like, for example, podcast, right? So like, say you were creating small talk with someone. Like, oh, dude, I have a podcast. I would love to have you on. I think this is a great way for you to do X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
So small talk is not for everyone. But it does have its place in time, like networking events. If you go to a networking event, you're gonna have to create small talk. So, but just out of the blue, no.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
Yeah, like you said, there's a time and place for it.
Exactly. So, like recently, I was, going house to house.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to be really strategic on how I was pitching this event. Most of the time, I was just knocking, but I just got straight to the point, telling them what value they could receive. So, just get to the point. Don't hesitate. But also don't, make it seem like you're desperate. Like, hey, I'll do anything.
I mean, yeah, because then people are like, you get a weird vibe off of people like that.
Yeah. Have you ever experienced that in your life, or from friends, or, where they've created small talk just for some sort of favor, or like it doesn't even have to be big, you know, it's just like, hey, I need a favor. But first, before they ask that favor, they were creating small talk.
Yeah, I've had people like I've had people offer the small talk as the as the benefit to me for the favor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and how does that feel for you? Like, does it feel like genuine or
not at all, man? In a sense, because like I'm, as much as I talk down about how I don't like small talk or offering small talk, I do enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it did offer some value, but in the back of my mind, I knew like, you know, this person's only doing this because they need something from me right now.
Yeah.
And like if I were to call you just to make small talk, you know, I don't even know if you would answer.
Absolutely.
Like would you take the time of day? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it sucks, and I think everyone's pretty much good at sensing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's all about being really strategic, honestly, at the end of the day, like it shouldn't be manipulation. You're supposed to actually be genuine. Like, I'm talking to you right now, I'm genuinely interested, right? And I'm not just here just because, oh, I need something, right? And another thing that's very important, like whenever I do my small talk, it's like I talk to these people like I've known them for years. Like, I don't just come and say like, hey, how are you? Like, I come and like, dude, did you see what happened? Like, I always see how they're dressed. See, and like if they look like they're into sports, be like, hey, dude, you saw what happened in the game last night, right?
Right.
Perfect example. I've never talked to this person before, but I jump in with like something you talk to with your friends about, and automatically, dude, you created a comfortable environment, and these people will open up more because, you know, they feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. So maybe that helps somebody, or that helps you.
Yeah, I think that's probably why we hit it off so well when we first met, because I'm not that outgoing, but once I'm comfortable with somebody, like I'll open up, like you said. And so like you start out creating the comfortable environment, then I mean, yeah, like it takes off and the relationship grows, and now we're here.
Yeah, and just so you know, guys, Steven has one of the best humors, dark humor, but he has a really good humor. So like working with him, man, talking to him is amazing. Like, honestly, dude, that's why I always like visit you, bother you when you're at work, because like, you know, it's fun. It's good to like have those mental breaks and just like laugh. And I think he has good impressions, by the way. He could do a lot of impressions. I don't know if you want to do one.
Man, no, not right now.
Yeah, so definitely, if anything, that's the key takeaway. Just make sure that you talk to people like you've known them for years and find something of common ground, and then you'll be surprised with how many genuine connections you'll make, because you're like, wow, this person's interesting. This person, you know, has an awesome personality. Maybe you came with the mentality of I need to connect with them just because of this, but then you'll stay because like, wow, I actually like this personality, and what they do, what they represent. So
yeah, maybe I do another podcast or a couple episodes where I pretend to be somebody else and do an impression.
I think people would want to see that or want to hear that.
Yeah, maybe I do an interview with George Bush or something.
Oh my dude, that'd be dope. That'd be dope.
Could you imagine, dude, if I land a like a government official on my podcast, and then the moment they show up, I'm like pretending to be Obama.
Dude, that'd be so cool, because like,
my God, they'd be so thrown off.
Dude, honestly, because like you're like, and I have Obama here, and then you start talking like Obama. Like, wait, that's actually him. That would be so cool, dude. That's actually a good idea, dude. I
feel like they would just get up and leave.
Nah.
It's like, what is this crazy house, man? What have I gotten into?
I think they'll want to stay just because they're intrigued. Like they're like, this is interesting. I want to see where it goes.
Oh man, just moderate. Pretend that I'm the moderator and like debate with them as Obama.
Dude, that would be like content right there.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool, man.
Yeah. So like real quick, these impressions, do you practice them or they just come naturally?
Dude, no, I just make fun of people. Like it's happened to me a lot where I'm listening to music or something, and I try to make fun of the person singing, and then I'll try to sound how they sound, but like in a goofy way.
Yeah.
But then some people are like, "You actually sound really good. Like
that's what I'm
saying. You
should
do a cover of that song," and I'm like, "Man, nah." Like I'm trying to make fun of them right now.
Yeah, it's funny because like I remember you said that you were making fun of them, but it actually sounds like you were doing them justice by sounding exactly like them. Like I thought you were actually, a fan of them or something.
Yeah. But then it's like, nah, I don't even know this song, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome though. That's really cool. A cool talent to have, I think. So
yeah, it's I need to learn how to monetize it.
yeah, there's so many ways, I think, dude, because you have the voice, like, honestly, for podcasts or impressions. So use it at your will. Be very, with great power comes great responsibility, sir. So
yeah, if this podcast gets 100 plays, I'll do an episode as a character.
So get 100. Tell your friends to listen.
Yeah. No, now I'm not gonna promote it.
Right. Hey.
Matter of fact, I'll create a YouTube channel.
You don't have a channel yet, YouTube?
Not yet. I have like the main one that that you use for like Google.
Okay.
That's the one I just use to follow people, and I think I used it for some school projects that I needed to upload.
Okay.
But as far as like my own content that I want to share, yeah, video editing it just sucks.
Yeah, some people love it though. I tried it and it's just like, wow, it's just sometimes it gets really frustrating because you have so many clips, so many audios, and you have to like somehow make it all mesh, and that's when it gets frustrating. But other than that, it's cool once you see the project.
Yeah, I just finished editing a multicam podcast.
Oh gosh,
dude, it took me a long time. Like it took me way longer than I wanted it to, but that's because there was issues with some of the equipment, like the recording software, like 'cause it was virtual.
Yeah.
So that some people kept getting cut off and stuff like that. So when they handed me when I received all the parts to the project, I told Kelsey, like, dude, you handed me a puzzle. like here's like 6 pieces of audio, like here's like 3 different separate video things. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to really sit down with this.
My gosh.
That's why I'm a fan of the every 2-week episode release, because it just gives you time to get everything up and running in order.
And so they started implementing multicam into the podcast, or what?
I did.
Oh, so you tortured yourself.
Yeah, but the quality of the video is, you know what I mean? Because otherwise you'd just be looking at a split cam of people talking.
Okay.
So like here's 3 separate screens and people talking, but now it's like the person talking, like it focuses on their screen.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's actually awesome. It's worth it then. Really worth it.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely like that. I think you did that with the show with Miss Carter and Dr. Viviana, right?
I couldn't do it on that one because the way the screen was split.
Oh, okay.
I had to leave it like that. But part 2 of that one, actually, the one she couldn't make it to, that one I did the multicam.
Okay, that's awesome.
And it looks really cool.
Yeah, I agree. It adds more realness and just more engagement. So
yeah, because I mean it gets boring like watching 2 people.
Yeah,
because even I don't know, for me, for podcasts, I don't really like it. I do listen to some that they have video, but rarely do I actually take the time to look at the screen.
Yeah,
mainly because like for me, the big appeal about podcasting or listening to podcasts is you can be doing anything. Like I'll be doing laundry or like the dishes or even taking a shower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen on your commute. Like you don't have to be watching anything. You receive all the information.
Yeah.
Auditorily.
I agree, because like holding the screen is also tiring, and just hearing, you still get the information. So I think it's another form of entertainment without having to be too engaged. The only downside, of course, would be if you're too busy cooking and the eggs are burning or whatever, then you can't completely focus on what they're saying.
You might miss some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think at least for me, dude, like I listen to different types of podcasts. So I'm real big on music. Yeah. So the podcast that I listen to about music, I make sure that I'm not doing anything else.
Okay.
So I listen to one called Dissect. And that one, they literally, each episode, the guy takes a song from an album.
Yeah.
And he'll break it down like, okay, so here's what the piano's doing, here's what the drums are doing, and then he'll break down the lyrics. So this is what he's saying. This is what this implies. Like this is a double entendre. Like this is, he breaks down the wordplay.
And that's awesome. Do you appreciate the song more after that, right?
Yeah. Oh, big time, dude. Like there's artists that I love, man, and I listen to the music a whole lot differently now. Yeah. Knowing exactly what they meant.
Right.
And so that one I have to listen. I have to make sure, like most of the time I listen to that one on my commute.
Okay.
And because like I use public transportation, so I just kind of sit there. Like I don't have to drive either.
Yeah.
So I just kind of sit there and like I absorb everything.
Yeah, full focus.
Mm-hmm, yeah, so something like that, and then there's some that I just like comedy podcasts. Now that's something that if I miss something, it's fine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's not like I'm listening to like for life advice or anything. I'm trying to listen to somebody make a stupid joke.
absolutely on that, bro.
So yeah, I think I'm just a huge fan of podcasting. Like I have it broken down. Like I have a system.
Yeah. That's awesome, dude. I don't know if you've heard of Knox Hill. He breaks down a lot of rappers. But I love listening to him because after, like, he just knows so much. So after listening to all of the breakdowns, I go back to the song. I'm like, wow, this is what they meant. So I'm on you with that, you know.
Yeah, Knox Hill. I got to check that out because the only one I listen to like that is Dissect.
Yeah.
And man, and that guy's like he's an English major and stuff like that. Yeah. So he's all over the linguistics.
Like this is a rhyme right here. You were talking about the entendres, triple entendre. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So one of my favorite ones is he broke down Mac Miller's song. What is it called? Self-Care.
Oh, Self-Care is amazing.
And the whole song, almost every single bar, there's a reference to some sort of movement.
Wow, really?
And on forms of transportation. So like the hook is, I switched the time zones.
Yeah.
But what do I know? I spend the nights hitchhiking. Where will I go? I could fly home with my eyes closed. Like, so there's hitchhiking. There's I can fly home.
Wow. So all those references.
Yeah. So it's all about moving. It's all about movement.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like I'd never noticed it. But once it's pointed out, like I can't unhear it. I was pointing it out to my wife the other day and she was like, that's so cool. Like,
do you think the artist like does that on purpose?
They
too?
do, man. They do.
That's another level of genius,
dude. I thought I was crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Because even before I discovered that podcast, like I would break down songs like that just on my own.
Yeah.
And I would be like, okay, so there's a reoccurring theme here. Like this is so in depth. And then I would try to explain it to other people who listen to music casually.
Yeah.
And they would just be like, you're reading too much into it. Like, nah, I don't think that's what it is. Like, it's just the song, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, man, I know there's more to it. And then I like discovering that podcast and other people who break down music like that, because I know, like, I'm not crazy. Like it's an art form to this. Like, it's not just, it blows my mind. People who listen to music but don't pay attention to the lyrics.
I'm one of them sometimes.
Man, I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, but at least the way I am, like if I hear a song that I like, I'm going to go back and listen to it later and like dissect it, like break it down. Like I want to know everything.
Yeah. And what's the best time to dissect it? Because the reason sometimes I just listen to music without dissecting is because I'm driving. I can't just be like looking at the lyrics, and sometimes it's hard to dissect while you're driving or say I'm doing something. So when do you dissect music?
I mainly just when I listen, I take screenshots sometimes. If I haven't heard the song before,
yeah,
I take a screenshot, and then sometimes I'll just play it again, because I don't like binging a song. I've never been that person to have a song on repeat. Like I hear it one time and I'll be like, okay, cool. Like I move on to the next. And then what happens is, the algorithms nowadays, they'll just add that song to your playlist. And like now it's in the rotation because you played it a couple times. And so I just pay it. Like I try to pay attention to different parts as I go along. So, and any music, any song that I like, I've already spent like years listening to it. So it's not that I sit down and like with a notepad and, like, oh, what chords are they playing here? How does it transition? Like, no, like it just over time as I listen.
Yeah.
And I get familiar with it over time.
Gotcha. That's interesting. And, before I forget, I just wish that artists would break down their music so that fans can enjoy it more, like because they know what they're trying to say. And obviously we could come up with our own interpretation, but it'll be pretty cool. So like Mac Miller, rest in peace, right?
Mm-hmm.
But whenever he will make his music, if he could actually confirm that that's what he was trying to go for, and like what each verse meant, that would be so cool.
Yeah, well, what it is they, a lot of artists, even in my opinion as well, is the best art, the best lyrical content is the type that you can make it your own. So it's open to interpretation. So
Okay.
sometimes they do, like they'll go on interviews and they'll break down the song. You know, they say, "Oh yeah, this is what I meant." You know, or somebody will ask them like, "What do you mean by that lyric?" And they'll break it down.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, some of the best music that's out there, some of the best songwriters are the ones that write lyrics that you can interpret however you want.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That makes it more personal to someone, right? So that they could take a different feeling. So I guess everyone who listens to a song will have a different way of feeling and like perceiving it, right?
Yeah, and then it becomes amazing when you go to a concert because thousands of people there and they're singing the same words, but every single person is associating that with a different emotion, a different circumstance.
Wow, that is crazy.
But we're united in this melody, in this phrasing of words.
Yeah, that is so crazy, dude. I didn't think about it like that.
Dude, yeah, like I'm telling you, man, music to me is like, I like to say I see God in music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a pastor, used to be a pastor at my church. He used to say he was into math, and he said the same thing about math. He's like, I see God in numbers. I see God in math because of the like equations and just endless possibilities there is with numbers, like the concept of infinity. Like how you can go in any direction, you know,
Forever.
1, 2, 3, 4, or -1, -2, -3, and in any direction you can.
Never stop.
It never stops.
Yeah, that is. I guess you can see God in many things. I guess, but yeah, infinity always breaks my head because, you know, we're so finite. I'm like, when does it end? Like universe, like when does it end?
And like the fact that we can continue to create new music. It really is endless.
Yeah.
And it breaks my brain that there's only 8 notes in a scale.
Right, dude. That is awesome.
That's insane. There's only like X amount of scales that we can actually play. And it's like, wow.
The only thing that I have, like Latin music, they always use the same beat. And that's the only thing that I just like I get tired of.
Well, it depends what type of Latin music.
Yeah.
Because I know I was having a conversation with somebody like reggaeton, that's the same beat.
Always, yeah.
Always. But if you listen to something like salsa,
yeah, you're right.
That gets pretty intricate. I like how they use the instruments as percussion almost as part of the beat.
Mm-hmm.
So like the piano won't be like a do 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 do, like it'll be more like dun dun dun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's more like a percussive.
Yeah, and I like that because, you know, reggaeton, I love it. It has a special place in my heart. But every song, you know, it's just like same beat, and I'm like, dang, I'm just tired of hearing the same beat.
Yeah,
like, I need something new. So yeah, salsa definitely has a different, more intricate take, like you said. So, I mean, I jump around. I think we both appreciate different types of music too. So that's always good. I think the only type of music I may not like, let me see. No, I actually learned to love every type of music because I used to hate rock, but now I love rock.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I learned.
I don't think I've ever hated any type of music.
Yeah.
I just learned to like I grew to appreciate different types. Because I grew up like my grandpa was a musician, and he taught the accordion, so he played a lot of like polkas and tejano.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up until like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. Like that's all it was.
Yeah.
And like of course, like growing up Hispanic household, like it was like Selena and artists like that.
And now your son Julian loves Selena.
Yeah, right. It's crazy. We turn into our parents.
That is, oh shoot, that's another topic, bro.
yeah. But I remember one time, I don't know if it was my birthday or just because like my grandpa gave me a little boombox, like a little portable radio.
Mm-hmm.
He put batteries in, and I was like, all right, cool. and I was just flipping through the stations, and like I didn't have no taste in music, you know.
Yeah.
I knew what I knew, but like I wouldn't say that like I was passionate about that.
Yeah.
But like I knew music was cool. Like that's something that like I didn't appreciate anything to the extent that I do now as a kid, but I knew like that it was something special. So I was excited, you know. I got my own little boombox.
You still have it?
Nah. But actually, it might still be somewhere.
We gotta find it.
I might be able to find it. But I remember that first night I had it. I was in my room, just chilling, going through the station, and my mind was opened to like all the different possibilities of music. I stop at a station and I hear Slick Rick.
Oh shit!
Talking about once upon a time not long ago, and I was like, "Oh, what is this?" And like, I was like, "Okay, so this is really cool." And from there, I was just like, "Okay, like bring it on! Like, what else? What else kind of music is there?" So I've never been able to say like, "Oh, like I don't like this type of music or that type of music." But what I do say is like, you know, I haven't grown to appreciate it that much yet.
Yeah.
I think we could end it right here, man. Anything you want to plug, your Instagram or anything?
I guess I would do Instagram because the other social medias I'm not as big. I literally is Ariel Cruz, and then just instead of you, just put underscore, and then that's my Instagram, so you'll be able to find me.
Yeah, I'll put it. I'll put the links too.
Awesome. Well, Steven, honestly, thank you for this, for having me.
No, man, I appreciate you coming through. You came a long way.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I think we had a lot of conversations, a lot of topics that are pretty interesting, and we could actually branch off into like different topics.
Dude, yeah, definitely not the last time you're gonna be on.
All right, man. Thank you again, and check out Steven as well, guys. I love this dude and his podcasts.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Man, I'm telling you, that was such a fun conversation. Definitely we'll be having him back on. Definitely we'll be having every single one of my past guests back on. But anyway, hey, I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts on the show, your biggest takeaways, your favorite guests. If there's a topic you think you would like to hear me discuss with somebody, let me know. If you've got a guest suggestion, I'll take those too. If not, the least you can do is hit that follow button, and an honest rating on whatever podcast platform you use would be greatly appreciated. There's a link to Ariel's Instagram down in the description. If you want to hit him up and let him know you heard him on the show, I know he'll appreciate it. Links to all of my stuff is also in the description. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in and listening all the way to the end. I appreciate you, and we'll talk next time.